The first time winner would emerge from the spray of a very wet second day of the Limerick Motor Club Hillclimb sprint at Glenrua, which is the 8th round to take place of the Naylor Engineering National Hillclimb and Sprint Championship 2017. The incessant rain was causing a real shake-up of the results, with the usual top 3 contender Rory Stevens only splashing through to 10th overall by the end of the day in the Radical SR8. Russell Stanworth was delighted to get his Class 7 rival behind him for a change and scored 3rd in the class in the tricky conditions. Seamus Morris, who has a great record in the wet, threaded the Darien home to 8th overall and 1st in Class 11. Padraig Egan made good use of all-wheel traction to win Class 10 and finish 7th overall in his Subaru. Gary Cunningham was just ahead of him in the Global GT, taking 2nd in the sports car class. Peter Cummins took a fantastic result in his Darien, 5th overall, also showing the ability of these mid-engined rear-wheel drive cars in the wet. Paul O'Connell scored his 3rd 4th place of the season in the Norma and another Class 3C win. There was big pressure on title defender Joe Courtney to reassert himself ahead of Saturday's winner Rob Dwan. Just as young Rob had cracked on the morning of the second day in Wexford, this time it was the more senior driver's turn to make a mistake, going off on the approach to a tricky left-hander and scoring no result for the day. The pressure now switched to Dwan to make the most of the champion's error. He was next on the line when Joe went off, so had an understandably cautious first run. Meanwhile, single-seater newbies Gary Egan and Billy White were ignoring the weather and scorched around the course, with Egan over 8 seconds quicker than Rob, with Billy just a little bit behind. All eyes were on Dwan at the start of run 2, but he overdid it after a great start, going into the first corner and overshot the junction. Gary had gone another 2 seconds faster. On run 3, Rob finally got in a reasonable time, but conditions were worsening now. Billy was slower and Gary hit cones. We caught up with the 2nd and 3rd place drivers, while Egan headed out for his 4th run.
Billy White leading after run 1. We haven't seen much information. Was Gary leading then after run 2?
Gary's leading, yeah. And I'm 2nd overall now. And Gary's 1st overall.
And is that after 3 or 4 runs?
That's after my 4th run. And Gary's going to have to do his 4th run now. But he's... Can you go back out, Rob? So, Gary's just gone out for fun now.
And Rob?
Right.
Yeah, just the day didn't go well for me, to be honest. The first run, I was fairly ginger because Joe went off ahead of me and I was just taking it real easy and a bit too slow. And second run then made a balls the first airport, got a savage start and launched off the line really well and just locked up on the brake, went into the hairpin and turned in, and there was no way the car was going around the hairpin. Just stood in the brakes, stopped up and just cruised around then, and the 3rd run went together okay, but I hadn't. It was my first proper run really to get going and just to string it together. But in fairness, the boys are flying today. It's a great achievement to get it, and it's awful to see what happened to Joe earlier. But you know, these things happen. Both of us were pushing hard.
Billy, you couldn't have asked for more as a birthday present yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, no, this is unreal.
Well, you could have asked for more. You'd like to win at the end of the day, but yeah, a great start in the morning.
Yeah, no, and like we never even driven the car really in the rain, and we're like, oh, we don't know if we'll do the event. Like it's hedges and all that. Sure, we go for a spin, and can't believe the way the car is handling. We're only a second and a half off yesterday's time in dry, so that's how well the car's going in the wet.
The reigning Cento champion was now top of the timesheets in the Formula Renault.
Gary Egan, I don't think you expected that when you got up this morning.
No, not at all. Joe Courtney and Rob ran into trouble and I was just there to pick it up, so it's a childhood ambition tick box, so pretty happy now.
I think you should give yourself even more credit than that. Like you set a great pace in the rain straight away. I don't know if the lads, even if they stayed running, would have achieved that.
Yeah, well, I suppose the car's underpowered compared to them, so that probably ran in our favour, just trying to get the power down in the wet. But the fast run was hairy now. I can't wait to watch the onboard and see what it's like. So absolutely thrilled.
You might give us a look at that, so.
I will do.
Congratulations.
Cheers, then, and thanks.
Class 5 is the foundation single-seater class for Formula Fords and Formula Vs, prepared to their racing category regulations. John Whitley has won the class the last couple of years from Gerard O'Connor. Driving a Ford, John's main opposition this year has come from Mike Nicholson in a V. Mike has missed a couple of rounds, but if you were to impose drop scores on both drivers, as they will at the end of the year, they are theoretically just 1 point apart in Whitley's favour. The action was spiced up further with the arrival of Enda Byrne and Siobhan McCann again this weekend. Neither registered for the championship, but Enda was fastest in the class both days, with Siobhan just behind Nicholson on Saturday and Whitley fourth. Siobhan was second on Sunday in the wet, with Nicholson and Whitley third and fourth. Hopefully the couple can do the full series next year. Tommy Gardner was the fastest front-wheel drive in the event and won Class 2 in his Civic, bringing him into a four-way battle for the class championship. Darragh A clocked another Class 1 win and is now stretching out a bit of a lead in the overall Saloon Championship, with consistently high results. Ger Lyons won Class 8 in his Honda Civic again, while David Byrne took maximum points in the Vauxhall Nova as the only registered driver. Hopefully more will register for this otherwise popular class next year. Dennis Hogan proved his pace again with another win on only his second day out this year. Ben O'Brien shared in the Croghan M3, which survived Saturday and took second in the class to further his championship campaign. Paul O'Connell, in addition to a good weekend in the Norma, was delighted with a full complement of runs in the BMW E30, into which he has shoehorned a V10, fourth behind Adam Callum. Danny Callan found himself in the middle of the 3B BMW boys, winning 3A in his Corsa. In the Historics, Mick O'Shea was fastest on scratch in his MGB GT, while Owen Gannon in his father's Mini won the Handicap Award, which is what counts towards the class championship. Damien Walsh took another win in the Cento class, while Alan Tully's Mercury continues to rise. He was second from Danny Hurley. As the championship heads to Mondello Park for its next rounds, Robert Dwan will now have to make good use of his aero in Mondello if he wants to make inroads on the championship.